So, how to master the universe, how to master the simulation, how to manifest whatever it is that you want. Well, for you to be able to manifest whatever it is that you want, for you to be able to be the master of your life, for you to be able to create anything and manifest anything, you have to understand how creation works, how everything works. So the first thing you need to understand that existence is finished. Everything that exists has always existed, and everything is here and now, right? So that's the second thing you need to understand. Everything is here and now. So that amazing life that you want, it already exists. The only reason you don't see it is because you are not vibrating at the frequency that you need to be on to see it, right? And then you also have to understand how the subconscious mind works. You have to understand how your conscious mind works. You have to understand these little intricate things, right? So I wrote a bunch of stuff. I'm just going to go ahead and read it, right? Don't get bored. Listen to the entire thing. It'll change your life. Trust me. So creation is finished. If creation is finished, that means everything is automated. There's an infinite amount of frequencies. You are just the consciousness. Remember, everything is consciousness, and you are just the consciousness passing through that frequency. So that means you are just an observer. You are an eternal observer, right? The job of the conscious mind is to observe that which has always existed, which is why everything is framed in the exact way that it needs to be framed, where you come here and you forget everything and you don't know what's going on, and the conscious mind thinks that it's in control, but it's not really in control. If creation is finished, if everything that exists has always existed, that means you are basically just experiencing that which has always existed, right? So the job of the conscious mind is to observe that which has always been here, right? You can't create anything with the conscious mind. That's why you reprogram your subconscious mind to shift you into the right frequency of your desired reality. The job of the conscious mind is to observe. We're going to get into that. So let's see. This is how the mechanisms of reality operate. That's why the conscious mind is so important. The conscious mind is what allows you to experience that which has always existed, as if it's something that you've never experienced before, as if it's something that's brand new, even though everything that exists has always existed, right? And it's what allows you to experience existence as if it's something that you didn't, as if it's something that's brand new. Another way to explain it is it's like you're in a movie theater and you're watching a movie that's already created. And every time you enter the movie theater, you forget what happened in the movie. So that's how creation works. Right? Neville Goddard, there's someone called Neville Goddard. Neville Goddard has a quote and he says, "You are an eternal dreamer dreaming non-eternal dreams." And what that means is you are basically just an observer. You are observing creation. You are just observing that which has always existed. You can't force something to happen as if it hasn't happened yet. Everything that's happened has always been there. There is nothing new. You are just watching a movie that has always existed. And the illusion of the conscious mind is what allows you to watch the movie as if it's something that you don't know what's going on, you don't know what's happening, right? So remember, creation's already finished. Everything is energy, frequency, and vibrations. And each frequency, it's like there's an infinite amount of movies that you can watch, which means there's an infinite amount of frequencies. Each frequency is a different movie. So once you understand that creation is finished, everything has always existed, then that's the starting point. There's also a verse in the Bible that says, "There is nothing new under the sun," right? The next thing is you have to fully understand that everything is automated, right? That means you are just watching a movie that's already finished, that's already been created. And that means once you fully understand that everything you're experiencing has always existed and you are just the consciousness that's passing through an experience that's always existed, what that basically means is you're just watching a movie that's already created. And that's where manifestation and reprogramming the subconscious mind comes in. Because this is how it works. Creation is finished. Everything that exists has always existed, which means that you have no control over anything because you can't do anything that hasn't already happened. That means you are simply an eternal observer, observing that which has always existed. You are watching a movie that has always existed. And the movie that you experience is a reflection of the frequency you're on. So that's where manifestation and reprogramming the subconscious mind comes in. Physical reality is a reflection of your subconscious belief system, and your subconscious belief system determines the frequency you vibrate on, and the frequency you vibrate on determines what you experience in your physical reality. Another way to say it is it determines the movie that's already created that you watch. So many people do not like the movie they're in. Let's say someone's unhealthy, they're poor, their life's horrible. That's the movie they're watching. and they learn about manifestation and reprogramming the subconscious mind. When you reprogram your subconscious mind correctly, you're going to change your frequency. And when you change your frequency, that's basically means that it's like you're changing the channel. When you change the channel, now you're watching a different movie. So now when you reprogram your subconscious mind correctly and you change your frequency, you are basically just changing the channel to a movie that has always existed, that already exists. And you are simply observing and watching a different movie. So you used to be the consciousness, the awareness, the observer, watching a movie, passing through an experience of unhealthiness, poverty. That's the movie that you were watching. Your consciousness was passing through that experience because you were on that frequency because of your subconscious belief system. Now that you've reprogrammed your subconscious mind and you've changed your frequency, now the movie that you experience is different. So now your consciousness is passing through an experience where you're rich, where you're healthy, and where your life is good. It's truly as simple as that. It's like you're in a movie theater. You're watching a movie where, let's say, someone's unhealthy, they're poor, and you decide you don't like the movie. So you just change this channel. Changing the channel is akin to basically reprogramming your subconscious mind. Reprogramming your subconscious mind, changing your subconscious belief system, and when you do that, then you change your frequency. It's basically like you're changing the channel in the movie theater. Now that you have changed the channel by reprogramming your subconscious mind and changing your frequency, it's like you're in a movie theater. You are watching a movie. Let's say someone's watching a movie where they're unhealthy, they're poor, and now they change the channel because they don't like that movie. What changing the channel means you reprogram your subconscious mind and you change your frequency. And now the movie on the screen, the movie that you're watching is a movie where you're rich and where you're healthy. That movie has always existed. The movie where you're rich, where you're healthy, that movie where, that movie you're rich and healthy, and that movie where you're poor and unhealthy, they exist simultaneously at the exact same time. All you did was change the channel by reprogramming your subconscious mind, changing your frequency, and now you're watching a different movie. It's that simple. Now, you are just the consciousness passing through and observing an experience in reality where you are rich, where you're healthy, instead of your consciousness passing through and observing an experience in creation in the simulation where you're poor and unhealthy. But those realities existed at the exact same time. All you did was reprogram your subconscious mind. All you did was change the channel, which means you change your frequency. And that is the core of how everything works. Now let's talk about the mistake that, a lot of people make when reprogramming their subconscious mind, manifestation. Because most people do not understand how these things work. Most people do not, most people make a lot of mistakes. One of the biggest mistakes that people make is it's called conscious intervention, right? Because once you start studying manifestation, spirituality, reprogramming the subconscious mind, all these type of things, everyone has everything completely backwards, right? Everything is all over the place, right? So conscious intervention is one of the biggest mistakes that people make when they get into this type of information. They start trying to reprogram their subconscious mind and manifest what they want. So one of the biggest mistakes that people make is conscious intervention. And I'm going to say this, and I want to make it very clear. Conscious intervention is the reason that most people fail. So they stress themselves, they get paranoid and feel like it's not working. And it basically feels like the sky is on their shoulders. Why is this? Conscious intervention is the biggest reason why reprogramming the subconscious mind and trying to manifest and trying to change their reality, it's the biggest reason why most people feel stuck. And it's the reason most people feel like it's impossible, because they don't understand how reality works. The first thing that I want you to understand is that the conscious mind has no power. The conscious mind doesn't do anything. The conscious mind has no power. Why? Well, because everything is automated. Everything in creation is automated. Everything is running on autopilot. The movie's already created, right? There's an infinite amount of movies. Because there's an infinite amount of movies, that means there's an infinite amount of frequencies, or vice versa. You get what I mean? The movie's already created. You cannot change the movie. You cannot change anything in existence. Existence is finished. Creation is finished. Existence is finished. That's it. It's done. You can't change anything. You can't change anything in existence. You can't change anything in creation because creation is finished. Existence is finished. Everything in existence that exists has always existed and will continue to exist. And you can't change anything in existence. Creation is finished. All you can do is change that which you experience in existence. I'll say that again because that's what most people struggle, because they don't understand this. The biggest issue is conscious intervention. Creation is finished. You can't change anything in creation. You can't change anything that already exists. Everything that exists has always existed. You are just the consciousness passing through that which already exists. You are just watching a movie that has always existed, that's already been created. This is extremely important to understand. The conscious mind has no power. The conscious mind is just an observer. The only job of the conscious mind is to observe that which has always existed from an infinite amount of different perspectives, from a new perspective. That's it. The conscious mind has no power. It cannot change anything. The conscious mind can't do shit. Why is the conscious mind powerless? Well, because the job of the conscious mind is to observe. And that's it. That's its only job. Imagine being in a movie theater and you're watching a movie and you're sitting in a chair watching the movie and you're trying to change the movie while you're sitting in the chair. Like, imagine how powerless you would feel. Imagine how hopeless and powerless and how miserable you'd feel trying to change the movie that's already created while you're sitting in the movie theater, while you're sitting in the chair in the movie theater. You would feel powerless. You would feel limited. You would feel hopeless because that's impossible. The movie's already created. You are sitting in the chair, you're watching the movie's already created, you can't change the movie. Why? Because when you go into a movie theater, you don't go thinking that, oh, you're going to change the movie. You go to watch the movie. You go to observe the movie. You go to watch the movie. Physical reality is the same thing. You don't go to try to change physical reality. You go to watch physical reality. You go to observe physical reality. The job of the conscious mind is to observe. Why? Because the conscious mind doesn't have any power to change anything. Because everything is automated. Creation's finished. The job of the conscious mind is to just watch that which already exists. It's just to experience that which already and has always existed. Your job is to watch and observe. That's the only job of the conscious mind. And if you're in a movie theater and you're watching a movie that you don't like, and you have to understand you cannot change the movie. All you can do is change the channel. When you change the channel, you're basically changing your frequency, and then you just watch a different movie. You change the channel. When you change the channel, you watch a different movie. It's that simple. This is how creation works. This is how reality, and this is how everything works. All you do is you change your frequency. If you are in a reality that you don't like, if you're in a reality that you don't want to be in, if you're watching a movie that you don't like, if you're observing an experience of reality that you don't like, understand you have no control, and understand that you can't change anything with the conscious mind. Your only job is to change the channel into a different movie. Your only job is to change your frequency, right? And once you're on that new frequency, then you're set. You need to fully understand that everything is automated. The movie's already finished. So now you're going to begin watching a movie that you prefer to experience once you change it to a different frequency. If someone is poor and they're unhealthy, and that's what they're experiencing in their physical reality, that just means they are the consciousness that's experiencing an aspect of existence and an aspect of creation where they are poor and unhealthy. They are just the consciousness passing through that experience. They are just observing an aspect of creation that's already existed, that's fully automated. If they don't like that part of creation, if they don't like what they're experiencing, if they're the consciousness that does not want to experience that part of creation, all they have to do is change their frequency. When you change your frequency, you shift into a different movie. So this person can shift into a movie, into an experience of consciousness, into an experience of reality where they are rich and where they are in perfect health. And that's it. Conscious intervention. Now I want to talk about conscious intervention again. Why? Because there is nothing to do consciously other than consciously change the channel. Other than consciously change the frequency, that's it. That's all you have to do. Everything else happens on autopilot. Everything else happens in an automated way. Why? This is important. Most of these spiritual people you're watching online don't know this. They don't understand it at the level that I understand it. Why? Because creation is finished. Everything that exists has always existed. I'll say this again. There is nothing for you to do consciously. This is where most people make a mistake when they're trying to manifest and reprogram their subconscious mind and change their frequency and their life, right? There is nothing for you to do consciously other than reprogram your subconscious mind and change your frequency, which basically means you're just watching a movie you don't like, so you just change the channel to watch a movie that you do want to watch, a movie that you do like. Now, I'm going to talk about the specific mistakes that people make. The first thing that popped in my mind is something called state of the wish fulfilled. Everyone knows state of the wish fulfilled if you're in a manifestation, reprogramming the subconscious mind spirituality, and acting as if you already have what you want, right? So basically, I made this mistake too, but what a lot of people do is they're consciously trying to act like they're rich. They're consciously trying to act like they're healthy. They're consciously trying to act like they have what they want. Remember, and this is what everyone in the spiritual community says, but it's completely incorrect. Remember, that's called conscious intervention, which is a big mistake. Anytime there's conscious intervention, you are making a mistake because the conscious mind has no power. If you are consciously trying to act like you're rich, it means nothing. If you're consciously trying to act like you're in perfect health, it means nothing. Why? Because that's called conscious intervention. The conscious mind has no power. Remember, the job of the conscious mind is to watch, is to observe. You don't try to do anything with the conscious mind because it doesn't work. And the reason I'm so aware of this is because I've seen many people talking about this, and I've also made the same mistake myself. So what I was trying to do was I was trying to consciously act like, I'm rich or I already have whatever it is that I want. And it felt impossible to stay in this state because it felt like I was swimming against a massive current. Why? Because I was going against my subconscious mind and I was going against the automation that's already in place by creation. That's like being in a movie theater and you're watching a movie where, let's say someone's poor and unhealthy, and that's what you're watching on the screen, but then you're pretending that the person on the screen is rich and in perfect health. Another reason it felt impossible is because I also wasn't meditating properly at the time as well, right? But even if you're meditating properly, there's nothing for you to do consciously. Anytime you notice yourself doing conscious intervention, understand that it doesn't mean anything. In fact, you're hindering your process and slowing everything down. But when we talk about the state of the wish fulfilled, a lot of people think that they have to consciously act like they have what they want or that they are who they want, but you are doing that with the conscious mind. The conscious mind has no power. The truth is there's nothing for you to do when you reprogram your subconscious mind and meditate correctly and you change your frequency correctly. So let's say someone is unhealthy and poor and they're trying to manifest money in perfect health and they're consciously trying to act like they are rich and they're in perfect health. That's called conscious intervention. They are doing it with the conscious mind. There is nothing for them to do. They are doing it with the conscious mind and the conscious mind has no power, right? In fact, they are introducing resistance and they're going against the natural flow of how everything already works. Your only job is to meditate, reprogram your subconscious mind, and change your frequency, and is to not consciously react to anything in your physical reality. That's it. There's nothing for you to do consciously. Everything is on autopilot. Everything happens in perfect automation. Everything is completely automated. Everything happens in perfect synchronicity. Why? Because creation's already finished. Right? Everything that exists has always existed, and that which you experience in creation is a reflection of the frequency you're on. So if you change your frequency, that means whatever it is that you need to happen that allows you to materialize whatever it is that you want, everything is going to happen in perfect synchronicity. So if someone is trying to manifest perfect health and money, and they believe in the state of the wish fulfilled, and they are trying to consciously act as if they're in that state, that's called conscious intervention, and that's going to create resistance. When you meditate properly and reprogram your subconscious mind properly, there is nothing for you to do. Why is there nothing for you to do? The reason there's nothing for you to do is because everything happens in an automated way. Everything is automated. An example, let's say someone has extreme anxiousness. They are reprogramming their subconscious mind to have peaceful and positive thoughts. Understand that everything is automated. That means their consciousness just passing through an automated experience where they have extreme anxiety. They are watching a movie that's already created, and what's on the movie screen is that they have extreme anxiousness. Their thoughts are automated. The way they feel is automated. It's all automated. They have no conscious control over it because they have an extreme anxious program in their subconscious mind, right? And that program is in their subconscious mind of anxiety, which means they're on that frequency, which means that that's the automated experience in creation that their consciousness is passing through. That's the movie that's on the screen that they are watching. So now this person learns about manifestation and reprogramming the subconscious mind to get rid of this extreme anxiety. Their only job is to meditate properly, and then that's the key thing, properly, meditate properly, right? Everything I'm saying doesn't mean anything if you're not meditating properly because you're not actually reprogramming your mind and changing your frequency. Their only job is to meditate properly. And then when they go about their day, when anxious thoughts automatically pop up, when negative thoughts automatically pop up, when they automatically shift into that fight or flight mode, their job is not to say, I'm supposed to act and live out as if I already have peaceful and positive thoughts. Why, right? The reason they don't do that, that's going to create resistance. If they're not supposed to say, I'm going to act as if I have peaceful and positive thoughts, that's called conscious intervention. Conscious mind has no power, right? That's not going to work. Everything is automated. when they feel extreme anxiety in certain situations or in certain places, understand their job is to understand it's automatic. They didn't choose it. It's automatic because of the frequency they're on, right? Because everything is automated. Their only job is to do the meditation and reprogram their subconscious mind and change their frequency, and to not react or place their attention and place their awareness on the anxiousness, the anxious thoughts, the anxious feelings. That's it. That's their only job, because everything in creation is automated. Everything is running on autopilot, and you have no control over it with the conscious mind. Remember, the conscious mind is just an eternal observer. Why are you going to try to consciously act as if you have peaceful and positive thoughts? You can't do that. The conscious mind is just an observer. It has no control. When the thoughts and feelings of anxiousness pop up, their job is to simply ignore it and not place their attention there, fully understanding that everything in creation is automated. And because everything in creation is automated and existence is automated and they have no control over anything, so they even have no control over those thoughts, those negative thoughts, those anxious thoughts, and the anxious feelings they have no control over it. There is nothing for them to do consciously to try to get rid of it because it's all automated, right? Their only job is to fully understand that they have no conscious control over it, and that everything is fully automated. That means even the thought of anxiousness is automated. And the reason that these responses automatically pop up in their head, these thoughts automatically pop in their head, the reason these anxious feelings automatically pop up is because they're experiencing an automated experience in creation, in reality, where they have these thoughts and feelings because of the frequency they're on, because of their subconscious programs. Their job is to understand that everything in reality is automated. Their job is to understand that everything is on autopilot, and they are just the consciousness passing through this anxious experience. And they fully understand that reprogramming their subconscious mind and changing their frequency into an experience where they have peaceful and positive thoughts will happen eventually, but they have no conscious control over when it will happen. Their only job is to be patient and understand that eventually their reality will shift into a version of reality where they have peaceful and positive thoughts because they're reprogramming their mind and changing their frequency. So now, instead of experiencing an automated experience in creation where they have extreme thoughts, extreme anxious thoughts and feelings, now they are going to shift into an automated experience where they have peaceful and positive thoughts and feelings. And now their conscious mind is going to observe an experience in creation where they have peaceful and positive thoughts, instead of their consciousness passing through an experience in existence where they have extreme anxious thoughts. Their consciousness is going to pass through an experience in creation where they have peaceful and positive thoughts. Both experiences in existence, both experiences in creation, the negative anxious thoughts and the peaceful and positive thoughts, they're both automated, right? And your consciousness can either pass through the automated experience in creation of anxiousness or the automated experience of peaceful and positivity, right? The only thing that separates that is your frequency. So your job is to fully understand that everything in creation, everything in existence is automated. So basically, creation, existence, there's just an infinite amount of movies that already exist, and you have to understand that your conscious mind is simply an observer. Your conscious mind is the one in the theater watching the movie. And the way existence and creation works is all movies are already created. There's an infinite amount of movies, and they are all already created. That means everything in creation is on autopilot and everything is automated. Your only job is to change the channel to watch whatever movie it is that you want to watch. Understand that your position in physical reality is that there's an infinite number of movies that you can watch, and you are just the spectator in the audience watching that movie. And if you don't like the movie on the screen, understand that you cannot change the movie. All you can do is change the channel to watch a different movie, which basically means you reprogram your subconscious mind, you change your frequency. When you change your frequency, right, you change the channel, which means you're watching a different movie. Conscious intervention. I want to talk about conscious intervention one more time. Remember, there is nothing for you to do with the conscious mind. Why? Because the conscious mind is just an observer. The conscious mind is the spectator in the movie theater watching the movie. It can't change the movie that's on the screen. All you can do with the conscious mind, all it can do is change the channel to watch a different movie. You don't have to act as if you have what you want because that's conscious intervention. You are consciously trying to do that. And another thing is, if you are meditating and reprogramming your mind properly, key term properly, You have to understand that even when you notice negative things pop up in your reality, understand there's no reason for you to be fearful. Understand that there's nothing for you to do, even when you're experiencing that negative automated experience. There is nothing that you can do to change it consciously while you're going through it. As long as you're doing your meditations, you're reprogramming your subconscious mind correctly, right? And you understand that physical reality has a delay. So physical reality, there's a delay. So even when you change your frequency, even when you reprogram your subconscious mind, physical reality is like delayed consciousness. Physical reality is going to take some time to change, right? Your job is to simply not react to anything negative. Do not react to anything that contradicts your meditations, right? That's it. For example, if someone has anxiety and they're reprogramming their subconscious mind to have peaceful and positive thoughts, if they still feel anxious sometimes, that's not a big deal. That's just the old program. That's the old automated movie. For example, I used to think about, I used to think about this when I was trying to manifest, reprogram my mind. I used to be like, I have to consciously think and act as if I have this thing or if I'm this person or whatever. And I was trying to do it consciously. That's conscious intervention. That conscious mind is an observer. It has no power. I used to believe that reprogramming my subconscious mind for positive thoughts, let's say a negative thought popped up, I thought I was doing something wrong. I thought that there was something that I had to do consciously, right, in that exact moment in time to basically not have that negative thought. That's a very big mistake. The very big mistake that a lot of people make when they're reprogramming their subconscious mind, for example, is, let's say they're reprogramming their subconscious mind to have peaceful and positive thoughts. They want to get rid of extreme anxiousness and have peaceful and positive thoughts. If a negative thought pops up, or if they feel anxious, or if they feel negative, they think maybe they're doing something wrong, or they think maybe there's something for them to do consciously in that exact moment to get rid of that negative thought, or maybe in that exact moment in time they need to consciously try to think positive thoughts. Remember, that's called conscious intervention. The conscious mind has no power. There's nothing for you to do with the conscious mind. If someone has extreme anxiousness and they feel anxiety and they, feel negative thoughts, their only job is to not react to the negative thoughts and not place their attention on those negative thoughts. It's not their job to consciously try to think positive thoughts. Why? Because the conscious mind has no power, it has no control, right? So the biggest mistake, I'll repeat it one more time, one of the biggest mistakes that people make when trying to reprogram their subconscious mind to manifest whatever it is that they want is they think that they have to consciously act as if they already have whatever it is that they want. They think that there's something for them to do consciously, not realizing that the conscious mind has no power and that everything is automated and that there's nothing for them to do with the conscious mind and that they're just creating resistance when they try to act as if they have whatever it is that they want because they're listening to all these spiritual gurus. There is nothing for you to do consciously because the conscious mind has no power. Right? There is nothing for you to do consciously. Your only job is to do your meditations and do not react to anything that contradicts your meditations, and that's it. And if you do that, eventually your physical reality will shift and you'll get exactly what you want. And that's it. Peace.